Beautiful. It's another great day to be in the PMA LCS, isn't it?
Yes, hello, hello, hello. We are getting ready for this game here with S&D versus TFT. S&D looking to stay atop the table as they are number one right now. Fire of our tongues not too far back, looking to pick up a 2-0 to push them towards the top as well. Should be a fun, exciting action.
Definitely excited for the games tonight. They should be good. I always like to see Dead Pixel play because of his practically infamous gangplank. Wonder if we'll see that come out if they leave that on the table, or maybe an Ari for TNT could be interesting.
Yes, it should be interesting, and I mean, you've got so many people to try and shut down on that squad. And we'll see who they'll be able to do, especially who will they start targeting with the bans here. Um, TNT's squad of S&D, they've got so many players that have such wide draft pools, it makes it hard to try and ban anything out. So it's kind of more of a, hey, something's going to come through, try and control what it is, and then try and counter those. So it'll be interesting to see if they'll be the first team to actually be able to take a 2-0, or well, I think Submissive and Draftable has only lost one game so far, if I'm correct. So they've won every series and just tied one. But
They
yeah,
are indeed 9-1, I believe. It looks like they dropped one game at some point. I'm not sure which one. Give me 1 second. See if I can find.
versus RNG, which is the
Oh,
second place team.
that would make sense. Okay, it looks like we're getting a pick ban.
All right, first ban comes out. They're gonna take away the Scion, and that's gonna be away from. I'm guessing the rain comes here. Uh, Yeah, and with the addition of Chief Babe coming into the team, they've kind of been switching things up a little bit. It looks like Chief Babe is going to be more of the support role, probably. Klugscheißer in the mid lane. Robert is going to be AD carry. Cusco's poison in the jungle, and the rain comes top lane.
We
So,
do see the Morgana ban out of red side. It is a really strong pick, as well as we could see them hovering Seraphine on blue side. There could be definitely some target bans getting thrown out here, and the Neil the Steel's Kane. That is such an obvious ban that we see so often.
yeah, the Morgana, especially taking that away from Light Pulse 94. He is very well known for playing that champion as support. And, when you have Chad Penguin there as well, just being able to put that spell shield on and lock anybody else down for Chad Penguin to kind of run amok. It's a big crazy thing. And like you said, we see that the Gangplank was actually taken away from Dead Pixel.
It's such a strong champ right now, especially when you look at the crit build or even like Bruiser GP. No, he's recently, I think, if not this last patch, the patch before, they nerfed him a little bit, but still, crit gangplank is always strong, even with adjusted crit scalings on his barrels. He's still a strong pick no matter what.
Got it. Be closer. Um, Yeah, and we're seeing the perennial PMA LCS ADC. You see Sivir coming out here in the bot lane for Chad Penguin. Ashe and Alistar will be the counters to that. Ashe, once again, not a super amazing like scaling ADC, if you will, but definitely provides the poke, provides the CC in those team fights, and even early can kind of poke out a lane. Although Sivir's pretty good into Ashe, just considering Sivir can just spam her skills and easily block that volley with her spell shield, giving her that extra mana to stay in lane. But Alistar is a good counter to that because you can't spell shield everything. So typically you'll end up blocking the dash in from Alistar and the knockup will still hit. So good little adaptation there, but it gives them some tankiness as well.
Morgban is actually really good, especially when you look at something like Alistar, because as soon as Morg Black Shields somebody, Alistar is basically just a walking ball of meat. You really can't do anything after that spell shield comes out. And then we also see the Vigar locked in. Uh,
Yeah, I think Vigar is just a
always,
great pick. Yeah.
it's so much zone control realistic with his cage, really strong late game. Just an overall good champ. I feel like that's also pretty common in the PMA LCS. We see Vigar a lot just because he can be generally easy to play, I think.
Well, also, I mean, with a Trundle and Thresh coming out at you, and you've got Sivir there, what that team's looking to do right now, they're just looking to run at you. So you put a Vagar box, and if you are in like a choke point at all, if you don't have flash, you ain't going anywhere. It's great peel. It's just great CC for fights. It's great zone control overall. So I think it's a great counter pick to the Trundle Thresh picks right there. Knowing that they're just looking to run at you, and it's hey, Vagar Cage will stop that very easily.
Uh, Almost an insta lock Kindred on the side of TFT, which I don't know how Trundle does in or Kindred does into Trundle, but it seems like they're pretty confident in that pick with how quickly they locked that in. I know that I assume Kindred could probably just kite out Trundle super well, but it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean it should be pretty good for some of the early fighting, just because you can kind of kite around a little bit. Late game, if Trundle's ahead, it's just gonna run you over no matter what you're doing. Um, but yeah, pretty good. Just early farming and getting around the map as well as Kindred. But then a Swain Renekton coming in, so probably you're probably gonna see that Swain in the mid lane more of a control style thing going on here rather than just assassiny. And then a Renekton's coming out as well. So
Yeah, it makes me
more
wonder
aggression in the top lane.
if we'll see that Bork Rush Renekton build with PTA. It does about 1 billion damage from what I understand, at least from what I've seen. And the Urgot into it, that seems I don't know how that is. I don't know how that matchup goes. I imagine it could be okay as long as Urgot can hit his E effectively. But I mean, Renekton's still Renekton, super lane bully champion. EN W Q E out. It's really hard to deal with something like that, especially on something like an Urgot. So I'm interested to see how the matchup plays out, and then whether or not we see something like a PTA, or if we're looking more at like a Conqueror angle, expecting some of those more long drawn out fights.
Yeah. I mean, being that I do play a lot of Urgot in the top lane, I can tell you right now, it's you just gotta weather the early storm of it, and then Urgot can kind of take over. As long as you're not letting Renekton get ahead of things, because more than likely what you're going to see is you're going to see that Ignite in the top lane coming out, because just trying to get that early pressure, and with Renekton not having any mana, it can just easily spam, dash in, get the stun, Q, dash out. Hard for Urgot to do anything early. But you just got to weather that early storm, and then later on, yeah, you'll survive, you'll do damage, you'll be great, doing great. Otherwise, as long as the Renekton's not too far ahead.
I guess that begs the question of what we're gonna see matching Urgot in the sides later, right? Urgot an okay team fighter, but I feel like Urgot's real strength is taking down towers. It's super fast, especially with the W. Just eventually getting to the point where you can have it up infinitely. So I wonder what on the side of SND can match him in the sides later.
Yeah, I mean, something that can match an Urgot later is going to be that Trundle. Uh, I think Urgot can take over that split pushing role later on in the game, especially if Urgot gets a little help early, and will definitely beat out the Renekton. So I like the idea of that, and so hopefully maybe the Kindred can actually help get that battle going or get that started for the Urgot. But I mean, yeah, in the team fights, you got the Vagar, you got Kindred dashing around, you got the Alistar to just get in there and be a nuisance, and then Ashe as well, just for the poke. So overall rounded comp for TFT and S&D. They've got a goal, and that's just to go. It's just going at you. That's all they're looking for.
Sivir is very good at that, especially with that ult. Looking at it now, it's pretty hard to get away from a Swain who's built Leandries and Rylai's and is just sucking your entire team for 15 plus seconds.
And then you also have to worry about the Trundle just running at you at supersonic speeds. Because that Trundle will be taking away, trying to take away all the resistances with that ultimate. And then you got, not to mention, you'll have a Renekton later, also just running amok in those fights. Lots to worry for, but decent peel from TFT. We'll just see how the first couple mid-game fights go, and we'll have to go from there. But while we're here in the champion loadout screens waiting to go into game, let us know who you think is going to be winning this game, whether you think S&D are going to be taking the win, or whether it's going to be TFT taking a game away from the number 1 seed in this Season 9 split, I believe it
Season
is.
9, yeah.
Season 9. Wow. Almost to the 10th anniversary already. Oh, casino's open.
Casino is open. Make sure you get in. Spend those channel points. While we wait for the spectator delay to sync up, what do you think we're gonna see on the side of S&D early game? Do you think with that Trundle Renekton pick, do you think they're gonna play more top side or figure just 3 camp or full clear down? What are you thinking?
I mean, I think being that it's Neil the Steel, we're going to be looking a little bit more towards the mid lane and bot side. Try and get Chad Penguin ahead. He's already going to have a little priority in that lane with the push. But Renekton should be pretty fine early against an Urgot. Oh, that's not the casino. That's just the pole. Or is it? I
I
voted.
can vote, but I cannot vote with my channel points. Sorry, guys, we're having a little bit of a struggle on the production side of things. Did you run an ad, Wookie?
And we are, for all of you non-subscribers right now, we urge you to do that. If you have a free subscription through Amazon Prime, that'd be greatly appreciated. But we're going to run an ad for you right now if you're not subscribed, and we will see you after the break. For those of you who are still here right now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. There is no secret. Just remember that later on. It's a little something between you and me that people who aren't subscribing won't know about. But tell me this, who do you think is going to be taking away this first game just based on these comps alone?
Looking at the drafts, I really feel good about S&D's draft. I think you have a lot of team fight potential, and realistically, knowing how PMA LCS is, there's going to be a lot of fighting. And I just think that S&D side does it a little bit better. I think with the Swain, the Trundle, and Sivir, I mean, one thresh hook and it looks a lot bad, or it looks a lot worse otherwise. But then again, I still think there definitely can be some strong team fight potential out of um, TFT, especially with the Kindred ult. That really can just completely change the course of a fight if you dump too much too early. Uh, so I'm interested to see. But if I had to put some money on it, I would go with SND for this one. But I'm always open to being surprised.
Yeah, I still think as well, SD probably has a little bit of an advantage, just because it's a pretty basic comp. They're just looking to run at you with all of their beefiness, and all of their damage. Um, but I do think that the side of TFT did pick a very good comp into it, because while Ashe may not be the best like scaling ADC in the game, you'll have a Kindred there to back it up, so will definitely help pump out some much needed damage later in the game. You've got the Alistar with the beef, you've got the Urgot being the kind of a beefy damage dealer. And then you've got Vigar, who's just a super blow uppy, super scaling mage who's got that zone control. So, uh, yeah, I think some of these early skirmishes around Dragon will be crucial for both teams. Whoever kind of gets those will have an easier look.
Definitely. I definitely looking at the looking at runes for each team, we've got the lethal tempo on Trundle, which, once he gets smacking, he can smack real hard. And then we also see the Conqueror out on the Renekton versus the PTA for the Urgot.
Yeah,
I think
if your game's failing to load, so is mine. Oh, okay, there it goes. But I'll pause at 10.
in one of you stream in Discord.
All right, count us down whenever you're ready. All right, and we're getting into the game right now. Also, everybody say a big thank you to Hoagie, who's here behind the scenes doing the streaming for us. Much appreciated. Without him here, we would not be casting this game. But right now, it looks like we're just going to have a little bit of a 5 spread across the map. Both junglers are mid, not giving away what they're planning on doing. Mid laners on the top side in the river,
Can one
and
of you
everybody else
stream?
just covering their angles.
Can one of you stream in Discord, please?
Hmm?
Can you one of you stream in Discord?
Oh, yes.
Minions have spawned.
Is it showing for you?
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
All good.
All right.
Beautiful. So it looks like we do have both junglers starting on the bot side, so it'd be interesting to see what happens with that early scuttle here in the top on the top side of the river, or maybe Kindred looks for an invade. I'm not quite sure. But definitely going back to what I was saying with runes. We do have the Renekton with the Conqueror, so more of those long extended team fights versus the PTA from Urgot, which I feel like is pretty standard. OP, I don't know if you can weigh in on that.
Yeah. I think nowadays, rather than TP, you're going to see a lot more ignites in the top lane. But yeah, I mean, Conqueror, typically your typical start there for a Renekton. And yeah, press the attack is always good there because being a ranged champion, you're not as Urgot, you're not going to be proccing the Conqueror quite as easily, especially in those little skirmishes. So you want that extra power coming out from, hey, you will get those 3 auto attacks almost every fight versus Renekton. Um, so that'll help you do that little extra damage. But we're seeing an invade right now. Neil the Steel says, I don't care about going after you. I'm just going for the buff. Cusco's Poison actually doing a lot of damage. Klugscheißer hits the cage. Neil the Steel having to go over the wall. But now we're seeing a fight here in the bot lane. Chief Babe's going to get taken down a little bit.
Yeah, really,
Decently successful engage there on the top
really
side.
such a classic Neil the Steel play. I'm gonna walk into your jungle, and if your mid doesn't move, I'm gonna take your things. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm just gonna steal them. And then we might be seeing a little bit of a fight both top and mid.
Ooh, Neil the Steel's
Neil,
taking a lot of
he
damage
does
from
have that
Cusco's
red.
Poison, though. Ooh, the first blood's going to come out because TNT was there. The flash in by Klugscheißer's not going to hit, so now Klugscheißer is just kind of by himself. TNT has a lot of mana and has a blue buff available. Is taking a little bit of damage, but now the Urgot is roaming, so it looks like everybody's just going to kind of back away. So a flash burn by Cusco's Poison. He is going to get taken out, and now Neil the Steel is going to have quite the advantage. But another engage here in the top lane. The rain comes, taking a little bit of damage before he could get that shield off. Neil the Steel also here is going to use the smite, but it looks like Chief Babe's going in onto Neil the Steel. Neil the Steel's going to get taken down by Chief Babe as this Alistar Light Pulse is now stuck in the middle of it. Chad Penguin's going to get exhausted up. He does have exhaust and flash still available. He's going to use the flash, but he's getting slowed by Robert and these arrows. And now a nice engage by Alistar. That kill's going to go over to Cusco's Poison. What a good counter. 1 to 3 in kills.
It's really just clean, and I mean they're
Ooh.
oh, okay.
Another engage here. I don't know if much more is going to happen. Neither one really wants to take this extra fight.
TFT is really just playing these early fights super well, and plus you've got 2 early kills on the Kindred, who obviously, as you know, will scale super hard, especially as she starts to get those marks. So I'm really interested to see how S&D starts to respond to that. That Kindred already has Noon Quiver. She's strong, especially in comparison to something like Trundle, who just has Sheen right now. So I don't know where the rest of that'll go.
Yeah, I mean, something that I will say, Neil being still a super great jungler, and the idea that he likes to invade a lot, and he's very good at just taking his camps, moving on to the next thing, and being in the right space for his laners to help them with counter engages or just ganking the lane. It's going to be hard to try and get all of these marks for Kindred. To be able to kind of get ahead and stay ahead in this game, those 2 kills will definitely help get there. But now everything kind of evening out. Jungler's going back to just farming up a little bit. Kindred just a little tad bit behind the Trundle, but is slowly catching back up here. Looks like they might just be trying for this dragon. Or they're trying for an engage here. Chief Babe is going to go in. Is not going to land the cage there, but the hook does land. About half health there on Klugscheißer. Neil the Steel is here, but not much more is going to happen. Ooh, Klugscheißer's getting kind of caught out. He does turn level 6 now. Light Pulse is still level 3, so very dangerous to stay in there at this point. But yeah, you can see how volatile this game's going to be. It's all going to be about who can roam first, who's going to have more people in these fights first. And right now, if you look at topside, the rain comes on this. Urgot's actually doing very well. He's ahead in farm by about 12 farm or so. So that's really good to keep up. Now, Dead Pixel will have a big old wave coming into him now, but we'll see if he can take it all with all this pressure coming in. Oh, another engage here in the mid lane. Klugscheißer gonna put the box up, not really gonna get much done. But Cusco's Poison is here in the bot lane. Chad Penguin is getting engaged on. He's gonna spell shield just in time. The lantern's gonna come out, the slows, but that's gonna bring him right into Cusco's Poison, who's going to be under the tower. Gonna be trying to take the kill, and is gonna get it here. He's gonna die for his sins. Giving over the kill to the Thresh, though, all things considered, not so bad. 2 for 1. But now we also see in the mid lane. Sorry, in the mid lane, yeah, we see Klugscheißer went down as a solo kill while all of that was happening. TNT taking advantage.
We're starting to see a lot of these look at the items that we have on each support versus support, really. I mean, the rush out of the Moby boots from Alistar to really start opening up the map could be an interesting decision. It's interesting. I'm interested to see if he starts to try to convert that lead over to the mid lane even more to kind of like push that advantage that they have. I mean, we're looking at a 20 CS lead right now between TNT and Klugscheißer. Is that how you say his name? Klugscheißer. So really strong coming out.
Ooh.
Really strong showing from TNT. Also, we see the blue buff taken away from Neil the Steel right there. Really good counter jungling by
yeah, and that was his mark
Poison.
too, so that's another mark under stacking up for Cusco's Poison on this Kindred. Well, that's what we talked about. Will they be able to get that going? And sure enough, still able to get that.
That is a very scary possibility. You know, a 5 or 6 Mark Kindred come late game team fights. That is very scary.
We do see a nice little trade here. The Rift Herald is going to go down for TFT, but Neil the Steel and S&D are going to take the Dragon here. That first drag is going to be that Air Drake. Just some damage traded here in the mid lane. Nothing too threatening right now. Nobody really has any low health bars. Let's take a look here at Klugscheißer and his stacking. He's at 68 ability power right now. That's not so bad. But we're seeing an engage here in the jungle. Chief Babe is getting caught out. The slow's going to be enough. The flashes, and now we're going to take it back to mid lane. TNT is going in. He's going to flash forward. He's not going to get the kill, but now we have Cusco's Poison here, looking to get some damage in onto TNT. Klugscheißer flashes in and is not going to hit it, but the ultimate is going to take them down. Cusco's Poison is going to use the flash to get away from Light Pulse's hook. And Chief Babe also got out of that. We got taken away by direct-to-camera. But we are still alive here.
Crazy that we didn't see any kills coming out of the bottom lane skirmish right there. We traded flash for flash. I don't know what happened after we got flipped over to directed cam in the mid lane, but still, once again, a really good kill to get onto that Vigar. You know, the Vigar scales crazy well because it's just infinite. So you start to get a little scared.
I think that Rift Herald was done by accident, because that looked like it was in a bush that somebody was trying to ward. That's my guess on that, because you know you're at a full health tower, but
I have done the exact same thing, so I understand.
I won't speculate, but
you think you have Sweeper funny. And suddenly you're dropping a Rift Herald. Also, something we haven't touched on at all. Look at the CS gap in the top lane. I mean, we're looking at 80 to 40. We've got a 40 CS. And they're gonna dive him. Oh, that Kindred ult. It's got to be available. So this is not.
Oh, the ult from the rain comes misses.
Oh, this is not good. Oh
no,
really good. Poison. Oh no. Oh, that's a really. I think Kindred might have had a shutdown there going on the side of that Swain, who's arguably one of the stronger members of S&D right now, looking at the 3-1 Swain. And, you know, a kill to the Renekton that gets him right back into the game. But, you know, that Urgot's already got Tiamat 36 creeps away from completing his call. It's not looking good in the top lane.
Yeah, that will definitely help, though. That was a huge misplay. Kindred taking the tower aggro right away, and just some missed skills there. Urgot ultimate needed to just be a little bit patient on that one. You had the Kindred ult to be able to outlast it. Because, yeah, all you do in that combo is you get them low enough, and then you ult with the Urgot ult, and you stand outside of the Kindred ult. So you just dash outside the Kindred ult, and you pull him in, because even if he's low enough, he gets pulled outside of the Kindred ult, so it doesn't matter. But a little bit of a misplay in the juggling, and that's going to get a kill over to TNT on this Swain, who is pretty big in his own right, and kind of helps the Renekton stay in it a little bit.
I mean, looking at it now, you know, he picked up a recurve bow and a Vamp Scepter, thank you. So that we are looking at that Bork Rush Renekton, so he's just gonna, especially on that one-item spike, he's going to be very strong. I don't know if you've ever had the unfortunate of playing against a Bork Renekton, but I cannot say I'm much of a fan. So...
Yeah.
Oh, look at that jungle gold difference right now. That, you know, we're almost looking at 2K in jungle alone. That's so much.
Yeah, that's the 2 kills and 4 assists coming in. And Neil the Steel's going in, and now is just going to get pulled back by the Urgot ultimate. TNT is going to get hit by the Ash Arrow, and now going to get hit by...
What an Ash Arrow.
The stun TNT is also going to get taken down. Ooh, still almost manages to take down Klugscheißer there. Lots of burn coming in. What a play, though. Just once again, team rotations. They're going into the jungle. They catch out Kneel the Steel. Kindred's
If
trying to
I'm
get the stacks, but has the team with him.
if I'm on the side of S&D, I'm starting to get a little nervous that Vigar's starting to heat up a little bit. Kindred's really strong. What a crazy Ash arrow out of Robert right there to hit TNT in the mid lane. I don't know if that was his intended target. Do not care, to be frank. That was a really good arrow.
Yeah, and something we're seeing as well. Typically, Chad Penguin being one of the, you could argue he's one of the best AD carries in the league. You're seeing that Robert's matching and has 2 kills and 2 assists over the top of Chad Penguin right now. So holding his own here in this bot lane, is able to just keep up and farm no matter what. The smite actually gets stolen away. Kneel the Steel gets in there and doesn't even have to burn the flash because Chief Babe knocked him over the wall.
That's so unfortunate. Sometimes that WQ combo it comes out a second too late, and it's really really unfortunate.
Yeah, so I mean, it's only 2 drags at this point, but that keeps the dragon stacking as a positive for the side of S&D right now.
So what do you think S&D should be looking at right now? Because right now I would say that
Oh,
S&D
right
is
now I say they need to worry about their jungle. Cusco's poison is going in, but TNT is taking a lot of damage. The Urgot ult is gonna miss. Cusco's poison is gonna have to use the ultimate. All of TFT are so low, but so are S&D. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade right now. Ash Arrow comes in, kind of saves the day there, making sure that Klugscheißer and Cusco's poison can get out of there. But a 1-for-1, and it looks like Cusco's poison's one so more. He's looking for that blue buff mark.
he is up an entire item on Kneel the Steel right now. He
Oh,
absolutely can
this is
just
a get
Oh,
the
is this
idea. Oh, and he's dead.
Oh, that sometimes you go for something, it just doesn't work out. I believe though.
So, had Cusco's poison had vision in the bush, or was able to get vision in there, I think he would have been fine, actually. But it's the fact that Kneel the Steel was able to get 2 or 3 autos, including his Q, on first onto Cusco's poison. Because there was a lot of damage there, but it was a little bit of a greed play, let's be honest there. Like, half health already, going into the jungle, no actual vision. You know he's there, but no actual vision, and yeah, gets punished for it.
Getting that first plate onto the Sivir here is really going to allow her to open up that map, start taking over mid, look to take down mid tier 1. And we're seeing a little bit of a skirmish in the top lane. What an E from the rain comes. Oh,
He's still got a lot of damage, and he's tanky enough, but TNT is also here, and he's going to get taken out. Kneel the Steel is going to get that kill. Cusco's Poison's looking to go in onto TNT right now. TNT's taking a lot of damage, but does use the stasis to stay alive, and almost gets the kill there while he's used his stopwatch.
that was such a good stopwatch out of TNT there to really preserve his life and continue, because I can't imagine what it'd be like to give this Kindred a couple more kills right now.
Yeah, and I mean, these fights right now are just so close from being flipped one way or the other. Kills are 8 to 9 right now, and so it's like you can tell it's just 100 to 200 health each time from just multiple kills going the way of S&D or TFT.
We are looking at a lot of the item differences starting to equalize here. The biggest difference that I can see right here is having the Locket onto the Thresh versus the Alistar, who did rush the boots early. So I guess it kind of depends on what you value most. But so we do see about an even gold lead for the supports. But Sivir only down 300 now, and that jungle gold lead still pretty wide right now. Still pretty wide.
Yeah, if this Kindred's allowed to just kind of run around in a mid fight like that, that'll do a lot to for them to win. But we're seeing a dive here in the bot lane. ENT is going to get stunned up by Chief Babe and just going to explode between the Kindred damage and the Ashe damage. That was an absolute clean dive, and that's something that Alistar allows you to do. Alistar just allows you to tank up those towers without a problem. But you're
Yeah,
getting a trade here on the top side.
yeah, and a really good cross map trade out of both teams here. You know, you get that Rift Herald over to S&D while TFT gets that bottom tier 1 to kind of match what had happened earlier with Sivir.
Oh, the hook is not
Oh,
in time.
the Luden's buy is an interesting one out of the Vygar here. Normally you'd see something like an Everfrost. Looks like he's going into the Zanya's second, or at the very least he picked up an arm guard. I guess to kind of help against that, Renekton or Sivir.
We're seeing a
So
TP coming in right now. It looks like Urgot's just like, hey, I need to be here with my team for this fight. We don't want to lose this third Drake at this point, because that just puts so much pressure on you. Now we're seeing, though, in the mid lane,
what?
the damage going out there. It looks like they're just trying to burn this tower down. They are going to secure the dragon here, but now the fight begins. TNT is in the middle of everything, but the box is going to slow so much down. Cusco's poison has the ultimate down. Urgot's trying to get the kills here. He's staying alive for so long. Yield of Steel is just chunking down, though, and he's going to get taken out. So far, it's a 4 for 2 right now. Robert's looking to try and stay alive and get in here, and he's not going to be able to pick up the kill. Almost gets the kill on the Chad Penguin. That is a 5 for 2. Dragon, however, going over to the side of TFT. But you had that Rift Herald dropped in the mid lane. They end up getting 2 towers out of that because Neil the Steel ends up going back to the mid lane. Huge plays there for S&D on this side. Gold's still almost 1,000 in favor of TFT, even after those 2 towers go down and the massive team fight. But yeah, you
And
can see
we
everything's
have
still
to
so
bring up
close.
we have sorry. We have to bring up the absolutely super crazy Kindred ult. I thought that turned it. I thought that was going to be really good.
Yeah, it was super close. You Chief Babe was doing a great job of just zoning out Neil the Steel, just kept him out of the fight so that way the dragon could be secured. But at that point, once that happened, it was just allowed the rest of TFT after that to just kind of run past because Chief Babe was out of everything. He was low on health, had nothing else to do, and eventually died, and that left you with no real front line there to kind of protect the rest of the team. And yeah, you can see really the only lead now, just a
Is
little
in
bit in the top lane and then just the jungle now. That's the only real advantage still. Neil is closing that gap. Oh, and yeah, now on the flip side, TNT still is in the lead a little bit of Klugscheißer, but
an 800 gold league. That's what we've been seeing for the earlier part of the game.
ooh, we see Cusco's poison trying to get the chase out here. Chad Penguin's just going to dash away with the Gale Force. Also, the slow by TNT is going to keep him away. But yeah, you can see Chad Penguin ain't trying to mess with that. Looks like we're all posturing mid lane here.
Not much to be fighting over right now. Baron is up, but we don't see that X drag for another 2 or so minutes. So, wondering what the looks like we're just fighting over mid prio right now, pushing outside waves. I wonder if they're going to look to take that top tier 1 on the side of S&D to kind of equalize turrets that are offline right now.
Yeah, so looking at kind of your items, it looks like Dead Pixel is actually deciding to go more damage here. Looks like I would think that goes into a Gore Drinker. So
I can't
looking to
imagine he's
build
building
Gore Drinker, and
Stridebreaker.
usually you see something a little more tanky, like you see the Sunfire coming next, because you'll already have enough kind of cut damage with the Blade of the Ruined King. You have enough to, but now you just need to stay alive in those fights. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening later on in these kind of more split fights.
I do think the moral reminder out of Kindred's second here is probably the best call, especially looking at the Trundle, the Renekton, the Swain. Like, that's a lot of healing on the side of
Robert tries to shoot the arrow out and
S&D.
just misses. Not even close. Interesting play. Somebody clip it. Send it to Robert after the game.
I do wonder. We're getting a little bit closer to this dragon spawning. I wonder what we're going to look at in terms of setup here for... We do see some bases coming out from the side of TFT and S&D, even though that dragon's coming up in 30 or so seconds. So I wonder what kind of setup we're going to see out of both sides here.
Yeah, teleports are available. I do think the Rain Comes definitely has the advantage in the split push right now. I mean, we'll see, because Dead Pixel has caught up a lot, does have some items, 3, 1, and 5. Still down a little bit in farm, but
We
pretty
do
much...
see the Hearthbound Axe, though, so it does look like that Croc is going, not Sunfire, the Stride Breaker instead of the Gore Drinker, which...
Oh, we got a catch here in the mid lane. TNT is going to have to use that Zhonya's, but Robert's going to get caught as well. Robert's just going to get popped, and now Chief Babe is going to get taken out. The Rain Comes, teleports in, but it's going to be too late for that. They're just going to run down the Rain Comes. Nothing else is going to happen there. Kindred's running to the dragon. Is going to get caught by a pink ward, and they know he's there. Too late. You got to get out over the wall. And oh, they get pulled back in. It's too late. Cusco's Poison's going to try and stay alive just long enough, and is not going to happen. Is going to get taken out immediately. What a play. What a catch there. Dead Pixel might be caught here. Getting some damage in, but nope. Just going to get exploded by the Veigar. Yeah, just when you think they thought they caught out TNT there in the mid lane, but a nice Zhonya's and then a re-engage onto Robert and Chief Babe. They got caught out. Whew.
We're really just seeing the difference in team comp right here, like we were talking about, that Sivir R comes out, you have Renekton just running at him, and then the Swain pops Ghost and just kind of runs at him. It's really just super easy to execute, and I think that's showing here in these team fights. But TFT did such a good job of getting out to an early lead that it's really just strong. They're really just strong overall right now, and so I wonder what we're going to see. I wonder if we'll see kind of like a getting over the hump for S&D side to kind of take back that gold lead. And actually, I should just open my eyes. They do have a gold lead now.
Yep, it's still very slight. It's only about 600 gold, but it's there. Oh, but they're looking for a catch here in the mid lane. The nice engage by Chief Babe. The flash spell shield's coming out, but it doesn't matter. You can't block auto attacks like that. Oh, but now we're seeing Cusco's Poison is getting engaged on. He's getting kicking down to the red buff, and he's gonna die! Chief Babe is still going in on a Neil Steel, but Neil the Steel has the flash out. Wow. So much damage coming out. A great hook by a Light Pulse 94 to get the engage there, but now the extra engage on a Neil the Steel. Neil the Steel's going to get blown up. TNT's here into the fight. Renekton's stuck in the baby cage right now. Light Pulse 94 is trying to stay alive. He's going to get taken out by the ultimate from Urgot. Urgot's going to get knocked away, and they're still on the fight. It's 2 for none right now. There's a 4 for 2 trade right now. TNT is trying to stay alive. He's still alive, and he is going to get taken down. Robert also staying alive through all of that. Ends up being a 4 for 2, ends up being a 5 for 2 trade with Chad Penguin actually going down previously. Wow, these fights are insane. Holy moly.
It's really just so close. Overall, these fights seem to keep going either way. Really strong play out of the Urgot there overall. Really good team fight from him. Unfortunately, the Renekton got caught in that baby cage, just could not fight. Otherwise, he lost so much of his HP, it was hard to just continue after that. It's been such a good game so far.
Well, yeah, and you got to think about it like this. That was an engage where TFT's arguably strongest player got caught out. You got Cusco's Poison, who was dead before the fight even started. And after all of that, Robert managed to stay alive that whole time, pump out some damage. I wish we had those damage charts so we could see, hey, how much damage was actually put out that fight. Because with all the kiting, I imagine he put out a lot, but Klugscheißer putting up some clutch walls there to keep everybody alive. And just Chief Babe as well, with just the insane engages, keeping everybody knocked up and CC'd long enough. That Trundle had no chance after the re-engage came out.
Really just looking really good for the side of honestly, actually I was gonna say it looked good for one side. I think this game is kind of a coin flip right now. I don't know who's gonna win, but like I said earlier, the scaling is scary on the side of TFT, especially looking at that Vigard. I wonder how many marks Kindred has at this point. We're a little worried about the Ash, but realistically, as long as you have that Kindred, you have more than enough damage. Plus, she's on 3 items right now, and Vigar's
Yeah.
on 3 as well with that death cap he just finished up. Vigar's
Well, you got
very
to look at it
strong.
like this: the tanky itemizing. There's not a whole lot of like actual like. You've got Trundle now, who's got the like a bramble vest and a chain vest there as well. Which yes, that's great versus those two, but then nobody is itemizing versus this Vagar. Vagar landing a W and an ultimate in these fights is gonna be like later on in the game is gonna half health even the beefiest of champions because they're not building that MR for him. They need the armor for the Urgot. They need it for the Kindred. They need it for the Ash. And so that's just gonna leave Lucheiser to just do his thing.
Can you click on Vigar real quick so we can see those stacks?
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, maybe.
Ooh, we're looking at 700. Oh, and a little bit of a fight. Oh, I thought we were.
Oh, the Ash
Oh,
Arrow from downtown! The Zanya's gonna come out, but I don't think that's gonna be enough at this point. Yep, it's just gonna get exploded.
that Vigar is looking really strong right now.
And that's a 4v5 right before Dragon spawning. Oh, they're one of their huge team fight champions
What?
is now out of the fight.
We just have to look to see if Neil the Steel can live up to his name.
They're looking for a fight right off the bat. That's probably for the best. The flash goes in. The rain comes. Is going to take down Light Pulse. That's the support. And it looks like they're just going to give up this dragon at this point. I don't think they can contest. There is, however, over the wall, there is a Blasco there, but they're going to try and pull this out. They're not going to try and let this one get stolen away. And yeah, it looks like they're just going to back off. They're not going to try and attempt this. What a great play there.
Probably the best decision right now to be made. You don't want to potentially lose more buys and give them an opportunity to win the game. But it looks like we might be seeing a bit of a Baron play from the side of TFT. I wonder if they're going to start it and then turn, or if they're looking to finish it up here.
Yeah, they're just looking to burn it. They're not in range. Nobody's in range yet. They would probably turn, but nobody's there. And now the engage happens. Chief Babe is trying to just get everybody out. TNT is here, though. TNT is doing a lot of damage. Sun's coming in. Klugscheißer is just going to explode the Renekton, but Chief Babe is still getting out of this. They're all kiting.
Alive.
They're kiting this so well with the Renekton and the Ash. And Chief Babe on this Alistar is just going God mode here. Holy moly. What a game we've got on our hands. This is going to be an insane series, too.
Yeah, we still have games after this. It's really... TFT is just looking really strong right now. I mean, the Vigar, somebody just comes in and it really blows them up. Urgot's pumping out so much damage right now. It feels like there's just no answer for S&D right now. You've got the scaling of Sivir, but I am not 100% sure how well Sivir scales after the rework.
Yeah, we have 835 AP right now on Klugscheißer. He is feeling strong in these fights. As we saw, just absolutely demolished that Renekton in the pit with the help of the rain comes on this Urgot, and they're just trying to suffocate down with these minions to push into the base.
And I think Vigar is one-shotting melee minions.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the biggest thing is they started grouping better, is what I think it came down to. They were getting to these fights first. Their whole team was there first. Yes, they might have a pick. Like, that time, Kindred got picked off, but they had the rest of their team there first to answer that pick. And that's what won it for them. And that's how they've been winning. They've been finding the picks with their whole squad, all being there on time. And I think that's what S&D had been doing very well prior to that.
It does look like we're seeing a bit of a, or the start of a Void Staff out of the Vygar
Oh
here.
my god, Kuzco's Poison's just gonna take down Chad Penguin immediately, and then Trundle just gets exploded by the Vagar there. Absolutely destroyed.
It's
That man
really
stood
just not
no
looking
chance.
good. It's not. I'm a little
And
worried
look
for
how
the
fast
side
these
of
towers are
SMD here.
melting, too.
I mean, that Urgot, all he does is press W and they just fall. There's really just no chance. It's not looking good for the side of S&D right here. But
yeah, and they've got another wave coming in. They're looking to just end this game. They've got 16 seconds on Sivir, 19 on this Trundle. Can they end it? Oh my god, they're melting these towers. And here comes the engage. They're going in. Chief Babe's going to get the knockups. And once again, TNT is going to be CC to death and is going to explode. And you see the combo. The rain comes, lands the ultimate onto the Renekton, pulls him out of the Kindred ult. And they're going to try and take down Chad Penguin for one more kill before the game's over. But he will escape. And that's going to be the game for TFT. Coming out like crazy.
What a good game overall. It was really back and forth. It was kind of hard to tell who was going to win there for a while, but it was really fun to watch overall.
Yeah, sorry. The game cuts out a little bit once I leave the lobby. I hate that. But yeah, what a crazy game. It was so back and forth early with TFT kind of having the lead and then S&D crawling back, getting their own slight lead, and then it just a flip of the switch for TFT. They made the one play where where Cusco's Poison got caught. They flipped it, so it ended up being like a 4-for-1 after all of that, or a 5-for-1 after all of that. And then it was just from there they just rolled. They just rolled the game. It was insane. What a
Yeah,
played game.
you really got to see the or how strong that Vygar is. That scaling on that Vygar, looking at probably 800-900 AP as we started approaching the end of that. It's really just it wasn't it. There was no answer to it, especially with the Ash and Chief Babe doing such an incredible job on the Alistar, really, and Urgot just you know consistently pumping out tons and tons of damage throughout the course of an entire team fight, and just being so tanky that it's impossible to deal with. So
Yeah, it was quite nuts. We're gonna try and get you a straw poll here. Hold on 1 second.
I am going to use the bathroom real quick while you get that set up.
Okay. Sorry, straw poll right there. Hopefully that works. All right, now get in there and vote for who do you think MVP was. I think there can be three options, and I think it's super close. I think first you've got Cusco's Poison, super strong early game, kind of just did so much damage, got them through there. You had the Rain comes in the top lane, playing super well on this Urgot, getting ahead early and playing some of those later game fights very, very well. And then, lastly, who I'm gonna be honest, I think is my pick is gonna be Chief Babe. That man had some crazy engages later on
It really just
that it
clean.
felt like they won the game, won those fights for them. And even at the Baron, for instance, just kept his whole team alive by, they got the Baron, immediately ran to that choke point to cut them off. Still was able to get away from 3 people there. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, Hoagie brings up a great point in chat. The Ash arrows were super clean on the side of Robert. Is one or two might have missed, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Throwing them out, making sure that they're there in case the team needs them. I think, and plus the ones that hit were always in key clutch moments. Thinking about like especially some of the ones in mid lane. So really just a strong performance, top to bottom from out of TFT there, and on one of the better teams in the league.
Is true. Hoagie, if you're here, drop down to spectators, by the way. They yelled at me earlier in the lobby for not dropping down, so before they yell at you. All right. But we're going to do the draft here for the next round, which should be coming up in just a second. So it'll give everybody a chance to vote. The votes are very close right now, so make your voice heard. Get your vote in there. This is a series, guys. This is insane. That game could have gone either direction, and it kept going either direction the whole time. What a crazy game.
But what do we think? Do we think our bans will change looking into this next game? Do maybe we see the you know Kindred ban or maybe the Vigar ban? I think that would be completely understandable. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Um, I think what'll end up changing it. I honestly I don't think the comps really were the difference maker. If I'm being 100% honest, I think it just ended up coming down to which team ended up playing the later game cleaner. Um, sure, like champions could make a little slight difference there, but just watching the game, it felt like TFT had the stronger early presence, kind of fell off through some strong mid game team rotations, team plays to S&D, but then I mean the fact that Cusco's Poison was ahead later on, and then they actually just all started grouping and rotating together and playing well. I think that's what ended up just taking the win for them. Because I think had they not played as well, or had S&D just been a little bit more cohesive in their plays and like where they were on the map together, I think it would have easily swung in S&D's favor.
Whoa!
Oh, we're in it.
What is? We're in.
Sorry, it lagged behind for me. But yeah, so looks like lots very similar here. You do see the Vagar ban changed up a little bit.
Can't
Um,
say I blame him.
Yeah, yeah. Vagar taken away. That I think that was a huge part of those team fights. Just that baby cage is something you have to watch out for. And I mean, with just the explosiveness of Vagar in those fights, and the fact that they did not itemize at all because of the 380 threats. They did not itemize magic resist at all. You saw the Trundle blow up. You saw the Renekton just explode there. So maybe taking that late game super scaling uh, mage in the mid lane out of the picture is a good idea.
I do like to see the MF pick. I do think MF is very strong. It doesn't get a lot of like airtime as
Ooh,
some of the other picks that we see sometimes.
Klug is coming out with that Nico in the mid lane. That's what I like to see.
It's got to be a call to flesh.
I mean, Klug has is as the one of the original Nico mains in the PMA LCS. So, yeah, Flesh was pulling a Klug.
Word.
Ha!
Apologies.
Yeah, having played on a team with Clue, he has a mean Nico, to say the least. That man does some damage with it. So I like to see that pick. Same bot lane for TFT, Ash Alistar. It worked before. Why not? Why do
Why
not do it again?
reinvent the wheel? No
Exactly.
reason to.
And then on the other side, we see the Sejuani picked up. Now, the thing about Sejuani, not just a jungler anymore. It's also a top laner. So this could also be a flex pick. We do know that Neil in the past has played a lot of Sejuani and has played it well. But this could be a flex to the top lane. I don't know how much the Rain Comes has played that, if he's played it at all.
Also has been seeing some playtime uh, in LCK,
Oh,
actually.
sorry, Dead Pixel, not the Rain Comes. Wrong team. Same difference. It looks like, just taking a quick peek here, it does look like he has played it before. Not a whole lot, but he has played it in the top lane. So, it is a flex pick, and they do have the last pick, so they might just hold it for that. Ooh! The Lux pick. So Lux in the mid lane going into the Nico. Actually pretty strong. Lux actually has a little bit of that extra range advantage over the Nico, I feel like, with her E. So, and plus the shield can trade back really well into the Nico. So, uh, both do a relatively similar thing, but the ults are the biggest difference there. But in lane, they're both very similar at their playstyle and their abilities. So I like this pick. I think that's really good. And they're saving their jungle slash top flex for last pick so they can see what's going on. And meanwhile, we see the set picked up, which does look like it'll be going into the, I would assume, going into the top lane for the Rain Comes. And the Kindred's back. Not locked in for sure. Yes, it is. Now it is. So the
I don't think
Kindred's back in the jungle.
I don't think I love the Kindred pick here. I think looking at something like the Sejuani and the Leona, um, but I mean, if it's a comfort pick, and obviously he played super well in that last game, uh, I think it could still be good depending on how he wants to play it. And the Nar, I think Nar is one of the best blind pick tops right now, realistically, especially if you know how to play it, obviously. But really strong top laner can really get you that early prio if you need it. Really can't go
Yeah,
wrong there.
and can do really well into the set just because it's you just keep that ranged and you keep poking the whole time. So the everything's kind of flipped now. I think Dead Pixel will have a little bit easier time here in the top lane. Mid lane, it's kind of a coin flip on who's hitting more abilities, who gets the ganks first, on who's going to win that one. Uh, Jungle is this, I think, the matchup to watch. Like bot lane, Leona tries to go in, Alistar can just headbutt her out. MF has a little bit more priority, can poke a little bit more um, in this bot lane. Um, and then, but I mean, you still have the Ashe Alistar there for TFT, so it'll be an interesting matchup for sure. I do like the Misfortune pickup over the Sivir because I feel like now in those team fights, MF will just be able to sit back and kind of ult over the team. Um, versus it felt like the Sivir wasn't getting as much done in the last game as probably could, but that's also because just had to dodge so many things. Had to dodge the baby cage, had to dodge an Urgot running at you, had to stay away from the Kindred because the Kindred was like three-shotting the, three auto attacks and Sivir was dead. So had a much harder time last game trying to stay alive and get damage done in these fights, and I think Misfortune will be a little bit easier to execute as well. Um, but obviously going on to Chad Penguin, so will still be a very strong pick.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, if we're gonna see some crazy invade again from Neil the Steel. It's very, very on brand. So I hope it happens again because I think it adds a lot of flair to the games. Um, I'm really excited for this game. What are you thinking off the top of your head? Who are you leaning a little more towards?
Um, I think hmm, it's tough to say, but I think in team fights, I'm leaning a little more towards S&D this time. I think their team fights are pretty clear overall. I mean, that's so hard because it's like TFT is a very similar as well. Um, It's like Nico's just trying to go in, Alistar's trying to go in, Set's trying to go in, Kendra's just trying to run around in a fight. Ooh, it's so hard. It's all comes down, like, I feel like it's just gonna all come down to execution. I really can't say I like one comp over the other at this point.
I think that
It's so hard.
it's very fair. It, both sides look good. I think they're, both easily executable. You're looking at an MF Leona combo. You just press R. Uh, Sejuani R. You got Nar, who's just got CC on practically every ability. So it would be interesting to see how these fights play out. I think it really comes down to, it sounds obvious, but who can land their CC a little bit better and on the better carries? Can Leona land that the middle of the ult onto the Ashe, onto the Kindred? Can Sejuani hit the R on the Ashe? Can Set manage to get down on MF or even Lux, depending on how strong she is? So I'm really interested to see how this game will go and how it'll play out.
Yeah, I mean the biggest difference for, I mean, you've got a relatively similar comp for TFT. I think one of the biggest differences now is going to be the set. The set's going to be more, hey, I'm going to grab somebody and just hold on to them into those team fights. Um, and if you can get some flank angles with that set, it's so easy to set up just all of the damage of Nico and Ashe coming in right on top of whoever set grabs. So I think the top lane is going to play a lot bigger of a factor this game than it did in the last one as well. Like Urgot played really well, which, by the way, the Rain Comes was your game one MVP.
Get an ad
Oh yeah,
here shortly, probably around the 2-minute mark. So for all of you who are not subbed, now is a great time to do that so you don't miss uh, the secrets that me and Opie have to share while that happens.
but yeah, it's. I think the top lane is going to play a bigger factor in this game than it did in the last one. Like we were saying, game one MVP is the Rain Comes, played super well on that Urgot in that later game. Was just getting in there, doing so much damage, being such a nuisance in the later fights. Um, but now is going to be put onto that set and is going to be put into a less priority lane. It's going to be a little bit harder for him to do anything here.
I think chat brings up a great point. If
We'll be
Kindred
right
or
back.
Set doesn't catch fire, it's gonna be tough. So now we'll just wait for spectator delay. It's just me. Oh, what's the secret? The secret is that there is no secret. So y'all are welcome. I am clapping. You are welcome for the mega note comment. Yep.
And you get to hear Hoagie actually talk for a few seconds. Hello. I actually unmuted myself, but holy moly, the amount of CC on both sides is insane. Look at that. Ashe Arrow, Alistar combo, Nico root, set ult,
Set kit.
set kit, Leona kit, Sejuani kit, Nar ultimate, Lux binding. So much.
CC, like I said, I feel like the game really comes down to who can hit their CC a little bit more, a little better. Who can hit the carries or who can hit the threat. So really excited to get in this game though.
All right, I'm back. Sorry. Got to stay hydrated. Going to be out in the 95-degree heat tomorrow for a long time.
Ew.
So got to get hydrated today. So that way I can stay hydrated tomorrow.
Yeah. That's too hot.
Okay.
Can you stream in Discord again, OP, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Pausing at that good old 10 mark. Move you. Move you. What? Why won't you move?
Yo, what the heck? What?
What is happening? Why won't these move? Huh.
His
Oh, they did.
Oh,
They did move apparently. Okay. Interesting. Sorry, my portraits weren't moving for a second, and it was very weird. All right, I'm ready whenever you are. Give us a countdown, Hoagie, in the background. Cool. We are in it for another game. Kind of like last game, I kind of expect just a 5-man spread again. Yep, and there we go. Neither one of these teams trying to take too much of a crazy advantage because they know what the other team can do. So
and
they're going to dance it
realistically,
out.
these teams right now are starting to we're getting closer to playoffs. So I'm interested to see, none of them want to take too crazy of a chance.
Yeah, I mean, yes, she does. Yes, she does.
It must be a bug for
It's
you.
a bug for you.
We do see the cleanse on the side of Chad Penguin here, so definitely a different take, as well as the um, barrier on the side of Lux for TNT. So just some
Hopefully you
things
guys
to
can't
note.
see this chat, by the way. Whatever's going on in chat sounds fun.
It's criminal.
Chad
Can
Penguin's
you?
got the nice MF skin here. I don't even know what skin that is, but it's
That
very
is the
interesting.
Battle Bunny MF skin.
Ah, yes.
Where I always know. We do see the tier start on the MF here, which is, it's super easy. You lose a little bit of that lane push or like lane pressure that you have that you would have with like D-Blade, but still a good option, especially start tagging that
Realistically,
earlier.
you don't even lose a whole lot, just because it's like you already deal enough damage early, and it just allows you to kind of scale up with and use your abilities more, anyways. So it's a nice pick. It's kind of nice overall. But
Can
yeah,
you?
you see TNT trying to get some poke out here in the mid lane. Things just going pretty standard so far. You do see right now that it looks like Neil, once again, kind of invading the jungle. Looking for that gank in the mid lane. Coming out here, the Q is going to land. Neil's going in. That's going to be a lot of damage on Klugscheißer. He's going to flash away and survive. Oh, apparently I got them out of order somehow. There we go. But yeah, nice gank by Neil the Steel. He did invade the jungle, but didn't end up actually taking anything. Put a ward on the red buff.
Interesting.
So,
Did he not take the red?
No, Neil did not.
Oh.
Neil just walked into the jungle, put the ward there, and then came to try and gank the mid lane.
At the very least, you got to flash out, so that'll be really scary for that Nico.
Yeah, lots of damage traded back here in the mid lane. It's so volatile with those two. Can hit the roots and hit their abilities. Dead Pixel getting engaged on, but the rain comes taking the worst of that trade. Does have a lot of minions to be able to farm under that tower.
I think Chief Babe does so well on this Alistar because of the skin. This is the best Alistar skin, in my opinion. The Mukau Alistar. And we see that Hawkshot come out from the Ashe. That's the worst part of Ashe on the enemy team, especially if you're jungling. Just being able to see.
Yeah, you're seeing the invade there by Cusco's Poison, taking away some of those wolves. Looks like didn't clear quite all of them.
So it's just so frustrating to have to deal with on top of just, trying to play the game. Really good E by Dead Pixel right there to get out of the set E.
Yeah. I mean, good also by the Rain comes to just kind of dodge back and stay away and stay out of range, because look at it right now. The Rain comes actually is at a minion advantage. Is up in minions on top from Dead Pixel on this Gnar, which, if I'm being honest, shouldn't happen. You should be poking so much on this Gnar that they can't do anything. Oh, interesting summoners, which I don't know if you might have pointed out already. TNT opting to go with the barrier instead of the teleport, so Klugscheißer are able to get back to lane, just keep farming up here, get a little bit extra done. Also, once again, we see Cusco's Poison on the invade, taking away the whatever that is.
Grump.
The Gromp, that's the one. I wanted to say the
Much-
Krug, but it's Krugs. And now turning that into a dragon.
Much more of an aggressive game so far out of Cusco's Poison, and really pushing the bounds on what he can and can't take, especially, like I said, with that Ashe on his team, it's so much easier to just walk into his jungle and just take things, because you can always tell where their jungler is. So really good on him for being able to play this well. I hope we'll get to see more of it. Maybe we'll see a couple skirmishes.
Yeah, and you can see Neil is just taking a beating here in the jungle. All of his camps are gone at this point. And I mean, Sejuani is not a super priority invade champ, kind of like the Kindred or like the Trundle even, who helps provide that little bit extra damage for those invades. So not much Neil can do other than try and look for a gank or an invade here, which now's the time with Klug having that flash down at this point. Now would be a great time to try and get in there and get another gank going.
I do wonder if we'll see the CS lead that we see in jungle start to grow. He's down, what is that, to 10 or so CS right now. I wonder if that's just going to continue to get worse, especially with the prio that, or not necessarily the prio, but just the ease of access that Cusco has to Neil's jungle camps.
Yeah, and you could see as well that because all of the jungle camps were down, the only place that was going to spawn those points was going to be the scuttle crabs. And so immediately Neil the Steel calls his teammates over, and there was all four of them there taking that scuttle crab away on that bot side. That was the mark for the Kindred. So good thing to at least take that away, so that way not scaling on top of the already ahead farm.
Really good team play. Those kindred marks are so important. Being able to deny those early is such a strong and impactful thing. Really good, really important for everybody to move there.
Yeah, and it looks like Kindred once again is going in to clear the jungle out. A little bit a much more passive game than we saw last time. We saw quite a bit more kills. I think both of these teams have dialed it back a little bit as to try and not overstep their bounds too much early, because they know how volatile this match is going to be.
Yeah, just a lot of poke coming out on the side of TFT. Right? Oh my! The flash E out of the Leona. That was, I believed.
Yeah, very early for one, because both Neil the Steel and TNT were trying to make their way down, but they were not even close yet. So even if that did hit, not a whole lot that's going to happen, because Robert still had flash, was still, halfway up the lane, so still could have got to the tower well before Neil the Steel or TNT could have got there. Meanwhile, Cusco's Poison both got the dragon and also got the Rift Herald now. So, while last game everything was just being traded one for one, more or less, you get a tower, the other team gets the drag. You get the Rift Herald, the other team gets another tower. And it was a very just big trade back and forth. This is definitely a little bit more lopsided. Not more kills this time, but
Look at this
a lot
CS
better
lead
overall.
in the top lane right now. You know, he's up almost 30 CS on this Gnar, which is not something. Oh, and we're getting a bit of a fight here.
Volksguard comes out from Dead Pixel. The Rain comes, is looking to try and make a play here. Klugscheißer's going to land the roots there. Light Pulse kind of in trouble here. It's taking a lot of damage. Klugscheißer is going to put... No, it's going to be the Alistar with the first blood here, but they're also going to pick up the kill on Neil the Steel. And they were able to get the Scuttle Crab for the mark as well. That was what that big fight was over. Really well played by Klugscheißer and Vi. Chief Babe on that Alistar, knowing the limits of their champions, getting all of that CC in that corridor, so that way Light Pulse could not move, who was not level 6 yet either. Chief Babe now diving under the tower, tanking this tower. He's so beefy. He gets tank the tower for so long.
He didn't even need the Kindle.
He could have tanked another 2 tower shots. That's insane.
Oh my god, what just an incredible play out of Chief Babe right there to get under the tower and just really cram it down MF's throat. There's no other way to describe it. It was just an easy dive. There wasn't even a worry. Really, like we said, really didn't even need the Kindred ult.
Cusco's Poison's trying to get across here to really use this tower, but now Chief Babe once again is diving this poor Lux here in the mid lane. Cusco's Poison actually was tanking the tower there. There's a mark there. So it looks like they're going to try and get this mark away, but Sejuani is here to contest this time. I don't know who picked it up. I did not see, because direct-to-camera didn't want to take me close enough yet. But let's see if we can look at Cusco's Poison and see how many marks we've got. Got 3 marks so far, so that might have been taken away by Cusco's Poison.
Yeah, I mean, those marks on Kindred are so vital, and we see the Kraken Slayer coming out on Kindred. Really just once again, we're seeing such a big gold lead in the jungle, almost 1,000 gold. Everywhere else is looking relatively even, except for support. Obviously, you know, Chief Babe's got those 2 kills, and that's
2-0 2 on this Alistar.
That gold difference is reflected.
Absolutely insane.
And he's making plays happen just across the map. You know, you saw that. I think he put a Hex flashed over the wall into mid lane there.
We've got this TNT. Dragon fight in. We've got Klugscheißer has TP'd into this fight, but he is far away at this point because he had to go to the tower. Dragon's getting lower and lower. Chief Babe's going to go in, and the dragon is going to be stolen away by Chad Penguin. Light Pulse is going in. Oh, the fight's going really in the favor of S&D this time. Chief Babe still in the middle of the fight. Oh, the arrow's just going to miss. Robert's not going to pick up that kill. All in all, it's going to be a 2-for-1 in the favor of S&D, and S&D picks up that dragon as well. That was a great MF ultimate over the top of the team. That's really what helped seal the deal. Plus, it actually got the tower, or got the dragon kill as well.
Plus the Lux ult, that it's got to be so hard to smite that at the right time when you've got MF ult beating the hell out of you and Lux ult coming in. You know, it's really just a nightmare. We see the Rift Herald go down. Where was that? In mid lane.
In the mid lane, it looks like, yes. So yeah,
so it looks like
probably
he was just trying to get that down.
Gonna get the plates off of it at least. Yeah, being almost
you gotta
13 minutes at this point, you gotta use it soon anyways. Cusco's Poison's just going hard on Neil the Steel. Neil the Steel's just gotta get out of there. Cusco Poison is on the chase, but Alistar over the wall. Light Pulse is also here. TNT's gonna be forced to flash right away. TNT's just gonna take a little bit of damage, not much because you're Leona, but Cusco's Poison's on the chase. Dex Pixel is gonna have to flash out. Has a Mega Gnar coming up soon, but don't want to be in the middle of multiple people on that side of TFT.
I think that was a good flash out of the Gnar there. You know, whether or not he knew it, that Ash arrow was coming, and the flash kind of prevented that from happening.
Yeah,
I think that was probably the best call.
It was a good arrow there to try and get the catch out there, but yeah, just predicted it before it came out, so good escape. But yeah, lots of flashes being blown for the side of S&D, and almost all flashes minus Chief Babe, but you don't need it when you got Hex Flash. because you're just going in.
Hex Flash is so much fun. It's one of my favorite runes to take. Really, it's so much fun to play with.
Ooh, Cusco's Poison kind of stepping a little bit far forward. Neil the Steel's here with TNT, but TNT is not doing enough. Cusco's Poison is going to use the ultimate to stay alive. Oh, and he's going to step out before the actual ult procs. Chief Babe and Klugscheißer are super low here. Klugscheißer should get taken down. Chief Babe now should be the next one to be caught out with the extra stuns coming out from Light Pulse. Yeah, a little bit of an overextension by Cusco's Poison. Gets punished here with a great rotate.
And a really big gold swing in favor of SND right there. Getting a lot of those kills, I think, on the MF, if I'm not mistaken. I think Neil might have picked up one, but, getting that carry ahead, it can't be understated how big of a difference that a good MF ult can make over the course of a team fight, especially looking at, you've got a Nico and an Ashe and a Kindred that you can just essentially blow up and maybe even force those ults out of. And I think that'd be a net positive realistically. So, we might see a little
an
action
arrow
here.
coming in, lands onto Light Pulse, but he is tanky, and Chief Babe, you are by yourself right now. But you got a Klugscheißer coming in, and the flash from Light Pulse. Good escape there. Didn't have the W up anymore, so not quite as tanky anymore with the rest of the team coming in, but yeah. Also, we got, Turgy Monster with the Prime subscription. We much appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Level 6 Alistar. I'm feeling uncomfortably tanky right now.
Yeah, can you go ahead and
How
click
many
on Kindred real
casters?
quick, please?
Of course. We've got a whopping 4 stacks on Kindred right now. So only has picked up 1 additional stack since last time we checked it out.
Wow, this CS lead in top lane still is just kind of blowing my mind because I don't think that,
Oh, Rain Comes is playing a little bit aggressive considering Dead Pixel does have the ultimate up. I'm surprised. Why is Dead Pixel not playing this more aggressively at this point?
There it is.
Use the ultimate. Oh, Klugscheißer getting caught out now. The MF ult is coming out. Klugscheißer is going to use his own ult and is going to escape doing actually a lot of damage back.
He does have that Luden's ready to go, so that is a lot of damage, especially with that extra magic pen that you get on the passive of it. And it looks like
Chief
Chief Babe is just
going in.
He just doesn't care.
Yeah, you've got Cusco's Poison over the wall. That's a big bait right there. The Leo or the stun is going to get hit. Oh, no, Light Pulse.
Oh, Light Pulse, no.
Light Pulse
Oh, it's so sad.
The over the wall. Oh, that's one of those. Immediately as you throw it, you go, crap, I didn't want to take that.
Hey, it happens to the best of us. I know I've been very many times thrown out a skill shot that I did not want to throw.
That's what happens when you're too good at the game. You just don't miss.
True.
Oh,
yeah,
meanwhile, Klugscheißer's actually getting caught out here. The shield's going to keep him alive for a little bit of time. Klugscheißer's going to have that flash. Neil the Steel still trying to go onto Klugscheißer, says, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. But it's not actually going to happen. The Rain Comes is going to TP in and pick up the kill there. Chad Penguin somehow also escapes during all of that. But guess what? The dragon's alive. And with your jungler down and your MF having to use your cleanse to get out of there, that means a free dragon for the side of TFT.
Yeah, really just good play out of SND or out of TFT right there to catch out to convert the almost death on Nico into a kill for them on Neil. Really just securing that dragon. Just solid TP out of the Rain Come.
Yeah, and look at this just immediate transfer to the top lane. They ran all the way from Dragon to this top side of the map. Oh yeah, trying to get the stacks in from Kindred, and now Neil the Steel's going in and is going to get caught out here. Gets head-butted back. Oh man, this is just so sad from Neil the Steel. 5 stacks on the Kindred now. I think that was why they went all the way across the map to get that extra stack. And now they're going to look to dive again. Chief Babe is a little bit low this time. Gonna survive. Yeah, just to think, all of that initial stuff started because Light Pulse kind of went over the wall, got caught out, and then they thought, hey, we're going to catch out one of your guys. And Klugscheißer was able to stay alive with the shield from his ultimate and the flash.
Found that out very recently. I didn't know Nico R gave a shield based on how many champions were around here.
Yep. Yeah, so
Very,
it's
very
that extra
cool.
shield. It's great for engages because you're trying to dive in the middle of all of their team anyways. So, hey, the more people you dive into, the better it is. And when you've got a team,
See the
when you got a
Trinity
squad
Force
like
on the
with
Gnar.
Chief Babe on the Alistar, you're gonna be diving a lot.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, it just makes it so easy. And he's shown time and time again that he is just wants to go in, doesn't care about much else, just wants to fight.
And right now we're seeing about a 3.5K gold lead for the side of TFT. If we take a look at some gold advantages here, you're seeing just a big gold advantage in the jungle, almost 2K advantage in the jungle, just below 1,000 in the mid lane for Klugscheißer. Gold advantage for Chad Penguin in the bot lane. That's partly due to just his farm. And he picked up those couple kills at that second dragon fight. Yeah, and I mean, with tower plates and everything else too, staying in the game.
I mean,
Top
this is
lane's pretty
really
even, everything overall.
it's feeling like a repeat of last game, right? You know, you see that crazy lead in the jungle or gold lead in the jungle, as well as like Ashe is starting to get really strong. She's got that Gale Force. It looks like she might be going into some Zeal item. Maybe we'll see PD again. But you know, MF is super strong right now too. 2 full items, and very close to getting that Mirror Mana completed or Mana Mune completed. I can never remember which is which. You know, so I think if we're looking, if either team could really fight right now, you know, we're only looking, or I guess we're looking at a 4K gold lead in favor of TFT, but
Yeah, and I mean, what Chad Penguin is looking for right now is he's just looking for a nice front to back fight where you've got Neil the Steel going in, landing some CC along with the Leona, and hopefully a nice Gnar ultimate as well, and just able to lay the MF ultimate over the top. There's a lot of squishy people on the side of TFT with, you know, your Ashe, your Nico, and your Kindred. So if you can get that layered over the top of the CC, that you can melt some health bars very easily. And that could be a huge swing in the favor of S&D.
I don't know how good the item is on Sejuani, but Frozen Heart is such a strong item right now. And looking at like the Ashe and the Kindred, I think it could really be a good potential item here. I don't know. I
Ooh, Chief
personally,
Babe. A little scary being on in the middle of 4 of them, but it looks like the dragon's coming up here and just about, what is it? 25 seconds. There it is. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. 25 seconds is when that dragon's coming up. So everybody's coming down. All 10 champions here are towards this river here. They are looking for this fight. This is what's going to decide how this game ends up going. This could be a huge
looks like we're
factor
going
to
to
get
get a
S&D
fight.
back in the game. No sneaky plays from Chief Babe this time, just a frontal engage here. And nobody wants to start the dragon. Ooh, Neil stepping forward. Rain comes, looking to get kind of caught out here. But we're seeing Cusco's Poisons going in on the side, going in onto the backline. TNT is going to get instantly dropped. Robert is also staying alive. So is the Rain comes. They're both staying alive here. And it looks like it's just a complete wipe here. Dead Pixel is just going to barely escape the kiting here by Klugscheißer and Robert. And the fact that Cusco's Poison was just immediately onto the backline. What a huge play. Yeah, Chad Penguin actually was able to escape. It's deep in blue side jungle. But now they're going right to the Baron.
Yeah, it's really not looking good for the side of S and D right here. Yeah, it was really just a good fight. The Rain Comes is playing such a good game, as well as, Cusco's Poison and Robert. Everybody's just playing super well right now. I don't know. I don't know what S&D's way back into this game is. Maybe if Neil can.
The whole
Oh
team
my
goes
God!
over
In
the
the
wall.
flashover.
Robert's the
Well,
only one
yeah.
still on the Baron.
I'm really not sure S&D's way back into this game. To be honest, it's gonna be tough if they want to look for it.
Oh no, the Lux E didn't get popped in time, so Chief Babe is gonna stay alive after everything's said and done. Multiple ultimates used for that, and still not able to pick up the super low health Alistar. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough climb back, especially with Cusco's Poison is able to just jump into the backline with Chad Penguin and TNT and immediately evaporate TNT. And it's to the point where Chad Penguin just had to run. Couldn't do anything else, had to run, had to kite out because can't do any damage if you're dead. And yeah, Robert, Klugscheißer, and the Rain Comes in the backline, all able to kite out and well enough away from Neil the Steel, away from Dead Pixel, away from Light Pulse, and stay alive. And then while only 2 kills went over, the Dragon and the Baron did get taken all after everything's said and done. So, huge swing, 7k gold lead, looking very dire.
It's tough. I don't like I said, I don't know how you get back in this game on the side of S&D. It's just tough. 7k gold down. It's hard to fight. You start looking at some of the item differences. Kindred with Bork, plus the Storm Razor question mark. Maybe Rapid Fire Cannon. I think that is actually.
No, this is the Kraken.
No. I'm talking about the Zeal in Kerchi Shard. What's it
gotcha,
really
yeah.
to? And Neil the Steel's only got Frostfire Gauntlet and a Negatron and a Bramble. So like it's just tough right now. So I'm wondering what we're gonna do here to get back into this game on the side of S&D.
Yeah, you kind of have to have a Hail Mary play at some point and hope that you can get something to win. Meanwhile, Chief Babe's going to go in over the wall at Light Pulse. Going to hit the studs. The Ash Arrow's going to hit. That's not the target you want to hit with the Ash Arrow, but either way, that's a lot of damage. And here comes Cusco's Poison. Cusco's Poison is going to actually end up taking down the Leona, but lots of damage coming out. Big trades here. Neil the Steel into the backline onto Cusco's Poison is not going to be able to do it. Robert and Cusco's Poison are going to kite it out enough. Meanwhile, Klugscheißer's getting whittled down by Chad Penguin, but he's going to stay alive. All things said, it's a 3-0. Low health bars, be damned, they're taking your base anyways.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Light Pulse there. He got hit by the WQ out of the Alistar and then just couldn't move. That was just kind of it. He could not do anything
WQ by the
else.
Alistar into an Ashe ult. You thought he was out, and then here comes Cusco's Poison with the 2 or 3 auto attacks to just end
And
end
the
this
Nico
Leona's life.
stun. The Nico route. Like, poor guy just could not move.
Yeah, and what almost seemed like it was going to be really good. Neil the Steel got into the backline, was actually doing a lot of damage to Robert and Cusco's Poison, but they were able to stay alive just long enough and take down Neil the Steel. And then that just turned the fight completely. And right now, you're seeing Dead Pixel actually a 0-0-0. No kill participation, no death participation either. That's probably what they need at this point. They need to have that 5th player. They need to have that Gnar ultimate in the middle of these fights to get something done. That's probably the factor that they're missing at this point. And you see Chief Babe goes into the jungle, steals away the Gromp from the
Send off by
Sejuani.
Alistar. It feels so bad to be Neil to steal this game.
Let's see. 8 stacks for the Kindred.
Yeah, how do you play the game?
I'm trying to see what that translates to, but it's hard to do because things keep moving. 40% attack speed, 8% current health damage.
There's the
You got them
Infernal
taking
Soul.
the dragon. Meanwhile, The fight's happening on the other side. Klugscheißer actually getting caught out here. He's going to be at a sliver of health, but is going to get taken down eventually. Gnar gets in there too with that kill participation. He has the ultimate still. He's going Megadar. He hits the ultimate, but Cusco's Poison has the ultimate as well. It doesn't matter.
Unfortunately,
But he was by himself.
there just wasn't much else to be done. The game, it just got out of hand really quickly. You know, it hurt. It sucks, but really strong showing from TFT here. Overall, they have played this game super well.
Yeah, and Rain comes just running down. Neil the Steel's gonna pick up that kill, and he's gonna survive for it too. Light Pulse trying to get in there. They're not gonna be able to pick up the kill. The great flash from the Rain comes, and it looks like they're actually gonna defend the base at this point.
Yeah,
they're forcing them out even after both towers are gone on the Nexus.
I've seen crazier. I've seen people come back from 10k gold leads in LEC, so who's to say?
I mean, they're going to get a lot of gold income with all these super minions pushing into their base. But I mean, if Dead Pixel can hit an ultimate like that in a fight where all of his team is still alive and there,
it could be
that
crazy.
Right there could be a game changer.
Yeah.
Like, that was a crazy great ultimate by Dead Pixel, but he was the only one there. And nobody else could follow up on that, and so Cusco's Poison just hits the ultimate and keeps everybody alive, and it doesn't matter. So we'll see. You got one last chance here. You lose this one, you lose the game.
Yeah, it really
Let's
comes
see if
down
they can
to
rally.
one last little team fight, I guess. Realistically, like it's the game is really hard.
Oh, Neil the Steel's getting caught out here, tries to get into the jungle to do anything, and he is just going to get immediately taken out. A great engage by Chief Babe. Lots of damage coming out as well from TNT here on this Lux, but it's just not going to be enough. The engage, the Gnar ultimate! We're seeing some damage coming out, and Cusco's Poison's down! Chief Babe's going to drop as well. The Rain comes, is taking the tower. He's going to stay alive as well. But they're going to defend the base. It's a 3-for-2. They took out the strongest champion, and their AD carry and top laner on the side of TFT are hurting. Like I said, great Gnar ultimate can be the changer in these fights.
It was really strong. You know, it was a crazy good Gnar but you know, even with that great fight coming out, the game, you know, they're 11k down. It's looking tough.
Yeah, even with the Gnar ult, like, they still went 3-for-2.
They still barely won the fight.
Correct. They only got 2 kills. They suffered 3 losses, but at least the people on TFT that were still alive were very low, so it kept them from ending. But now, Baron's coming up, so can Neil the Steel get in there to try and steal this away? Maybe just a last-ditch effort. Try and get in there.
They're just gonna flash over for him again.
They might just want to try and give this up. Oh, both of them get in the pit! Can Neil the Steel save it? No! The Kindred ultimate keeping it alive long enough. The Baron's gonna go over to Cusco's Poison. They're gonna pick up 2 kills. They're gonna pick up 3 kills, and that right there is gonna have to be the game. There's no way that they survive this one. Chad Penguin's just about to get taken out. He gets taken down by Cusco's Poison as well. And that's going to be the game. What a game. The Kindred Ultimate came out. You thought it was going to be a steal for a second because Chief Babe tried to keep out Neil the Steel and was not able to do so. But Cusco's Poison playing that so well, and TFT takes the 2-0. Whew. I got it. Oh, man. Whew. All right.
I can hear you.
Take over from talk. I was not about to have a stroke, but man, that was got the blood pressure up, doesn't it? All right, so take over while and talk about that while I get this new straw poll made.
Which I could. I was lagging. I didn't get to see any of it.
Oh,
Is it on? Okay. Oh my. Wow. An absolute a crazy amount of damage from out of the misfortune from Chad Penguin. We're looking at 31,000. And also the Cusco's poison, kindred really strong. As TFT looked so strong in this series, especially against the top team like S&D, handing them their second and third losses of the season. It was really unexpected as far as just I guess overall. Um, really can't talk enough about the folks on the side of TFT. The Ash was really strong. Klug had some incredible ults, especially isolating some of the people on the other team. Uh, the set pick did so well against that Gnar, even having a CS lead at some points in the game. Really, just overall, top to bottom, a really strong match from TFT there. Not much else to be said, at least for me. I don't know if Opie has much else to comment on.
yeah. I mean, just a super strong, well played team game. Like that's all that it comes down to is they played so well as a team. They knew where they needed to be at the right times. They rotated in time. Top lane was always in the plays the whole time. Cusco's poison was playing out of his mind. That's who I feel like you have to give the MVP to. Like while Chief Babe was playing crazy too, it's just Cusco's poison put Neil behind, put the rest of their team behind the whole time, and was just absolutely dominating the entire time and was always around the map making those calls. It looked like crazy game. But straw poll is out, so get your votes in there. Ooh. Who did we say was game one MVP? I forget. The Rain Comes, yes. The Rain Comes was your game one MVP. So we will be going to player of the game one here in just a moment. But get your votes in for who you think game two MVP is, and then we will join them here shortly. All right, I'm
Yeah,
dropping out of player of the game
overall.
one.
All right.
There he is. Okay. All right. Live results for the straw poll look pretty convincing in one favor. It is 5-1 right now. Chief Babe, I'm going to call it, is going to be your MVP for game two. Not even close at the moment. So if we can get Chief Babe and the Rain Comes to player of the game, we will have a little interview with those guys to see, get their thoughts. And if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to list those now, and we will get to them with our winners here.
Yo.
Hello, gentlemen.
We've got Chief
Yo,
Babe and the Rain Comes. Welcome, gentlemen. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
So I'm just kind of curious, what was it like, in the game? What are we talking about?
just watching TikToks in the background. I
Well, we
heard that.
started talking about bidets,
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that.
sure.
Yes.
Good start.
and then we just, we had a good time.
For sure.
That's
Yeah,
always good to hear.
apparently, Robert says that he has a bidet now, and he says it's one wipe every time.
Guaranteed.
I have heard that they are life changing.
Yes.
That's
Me
ex-
too.
those were his exact words.
I think I'm gonna go out and get a bidet tomorrow.
I think you should. After that, those Alistar performances, I think you deserve to treat yourself.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great performances there on the Alistar. People take it for granted. It was disgusting. The engagers were crazy. So what were your thoughts going into this week's match, knowing that you were going versus the top team in the league? Uh, what was your thoughts? What was your strategy? What'd you guys plan?
I think it just depended on who we were actually playing against because Sebastian came back in last minute. So we had to take like a 15-minute hiatus to kind of reassess drafts and let people settle in and whatever. But overall, I think that team is really strong. There's just we have to kind of pick what we didn't want to play against, and things that make our team a little more uncomfortable were some of the things that we chose to ban and just kind of approach draft that way, because then we had to talk as a team to, instead of play just meta picks, we actually decided to fill roles of a team comp that we want to build, but then build that with comfort instead of just what's the best in slot like champion available.
Very fair. Very fair. So, what do you think in game one in particular? Because if I'm honest, I felt like in game two, you guys got a pretty good lead early and then just kept snowballing it. But game one was pretty back and forth early, pretty even overall. What do you think was the turning point for you? What do you think was kind of the catalyst that set you guys off on the path to the win?
Okay, in my opinion, not to be like I did it, but I felt like
I did it.
no, I felt like once I
I
got
did
Black
it.
Cleaver, and I was in the team fights, Titanic, Black Cleaver, just like shredding armor. It let Ash and Kindred do their thing a lot easier. So I feel that's when I felt the team fights started turning, personally.
Yeah, I mean, because it was right around, probably around the 22, 23 minute mark, something like that, where you guys kind of took a turn in your favor. And I mean, there was I think there was just a couple fights where uh, we saw Cusco's get caught out, and then you guys managed to turn around a 4v5 with like 0 deaths, I think. So that was a great play, and that kind of set you on the right path there.
Oh, like how much easier is it to play the game when you have a jungler who is like 2k gold up ahead against the enemy jungler at all points of the game? Like I can't even, like, I'm not kidding, he was at pretty much all throughout the game. Cusco's poison is up 2k on Kneel to Steel. Like that's got to make it so much easier for you guys.
Yeah, and I think we just kind of had to communicate with Tyler. I feel like this was our best week of communication. We've been working on it when we can. Um, but it's a little bit different when it's actually game time because we're actually focusing. And like for example, I was communicating with Tyler when he was on top side of the map, when I was in bot side of the map, about what we were going to do and when we were going to link up and make a play. Like dive mid lane, for example, we did that I think twice in one game. I don't remember.
Game 2, I believe.
Yeah, in game two. But we were just coordinating which ways we were going to, or we were just communicating with him a lot better and making sure that he could get the resources that he needs. Because when you play with Kindred, you have to play for Kindred.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and
Whereas Kindred
that was going to be
less than
one thing I saw a
bandit.
lot was that there was there was constantly pings anytime a mark was coming up on the map. There was just pings on it immediately, and you guys rotated really well to go get those. That I think I saw even a couple times. It was like, hey, you guys took the dragon and then immediately rotated to like their top Krugs to go get that, uh, to go get the mark that was up there. So you could definitely tell there was a lot of communication going on, being like, hey, we need to go get this. So who would you guys say your primary shot caller is, or is there a primary shot caller in that sense?
I would say Cusco takes that role most of the time. I think sometimes we've got Grant and Cusco kind of sharing that responsibility. Um, that's kind of how our games go.
Tyler
that's
will
good.
talk
Yeah.
for Tyler will talk from the majority of things, and I'll just like he'll tell me information, and then he or I will make a call to like I'll say it like this. I make more vision shot calls, so I'm telling us where we need to be on the map, and he's telling us where people are and where we're going to make picks or objective focus things. So it kind of like starts from zoning out and then in is how I see it.
Well, awesome. Well, that was a very well played game by you guys, and props as well to S&D. They played very well in both of these games, and they are also, I mean, they're still sitting at the top of the top of the board here. And you guys
Disputed.
definitely moved up as well. Well, correct, but yes, they're still up there at the top. Either
we
way.
actually figured out our score on the board is wrong.
Yeah.
Our score should not be 6-4. We were actually 8-4, so now we're 10-4.
Oh dang. So then you guys are getting
We
pushed
take
up there. Woo! Well, so now that because once again, this whole top of the table here is all super close and can just swing back and forth at a moment's notice. What's your strategy going into the rest of the season to try and close out into the playoffs?
Well,
Get
we're gonna
bidets and
boot
sleep
up
well.
League of Legends and we're gonna gap them.
Damn straight. What else you got? End the stream. That's it. Game over.
And we're also gonna all buy bidets.
Hell
Fuck.
yeah.
That's
Fair
the
enough.
ticket to success.
Yeah.
You're goddamn right.
All right,
Goddamn right.
I'm in.
All right, so this was TFT versus S&D. TFT taking the 2-0 there. Congratulations to you guys. Thanks once again, Hoagie, for streaming for us. He is in the background here. Wasn't talking during the stream, but we appreciate the streaming all nonetheless. So thanks for coming.
Have a good night.
Bye. Hoagie, close it out. Close it out.
Close it out.